How's it going, everyone? I am Scott, the Home Loan Guy. I am here doing my small business spotlight. I'm hanging out here with Douglas Barrett Photography, with Douglas Barrett himself. Hey, Doug, thanks for jumping on with me today. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Uh, I'm excited for this. I am a big fan of real estate photography and what it can do for real estate as a whole. Just it's always fun to look at homes, and it's a beautiful thing. So, tell me about how long you've been doing photography.
So I've been doing, as a hobby, I've been doing it for years. And then just within the last probably 4 years, I went back to school and actually kind of fell into the photography school side of things by accident. It was during COVID, and took a black and white film class, and we were, we turned a bathroom into a dark room, and we were developing film with Caffenol. And I was like, wow, this is really cool.
Nice.
So, one class led to three, and then the next thing I know, I have a degree in photography. And, I always knew that I wanted to kind of be on the commercial side of things, just because that's where there's a big demand, for commercial side of things. And that's really where the money's at.
Right.
And so I kind of knew I knew I wanted to go that route. Photography or real estate has always been an interest of mine.
Sure.
And I figured what better way to kind of tie the two together than,
That's awesome.
photography and real estate.
I love it. I love it. I think, it's such an interesting world of photography because it's one of those things that people think they know how to do photography until you see a real photographer come in there and take care of things. Like they think, I've got my iPhone, it takes great pictures for my kid's birthday party.
Right.
Yeah, sure. For your home photography stuff, iPhones are great, but the actual difference of capturing a photo, which you can get from just that professional eye mixed in with having a great camera is a huge difference, right? Wouldn't you say there's a misconception out there of people thinking they could do it?
Oh yeah. It's funny. Everybody thinks they're a photographer. They got a $1,000 camera in their hand wherever they go, and it's crazy how many real estate agents are still using their phones to sell these $1 million listings.
Right.
And when you put a iPhone picture next to an HDR blended photo with flash and professional editing, and the quality of photo is just not even close. You can't even compare the
Right.
two. But yeah, it's definitely it's wild.
Here's a couple of interesting statistics I've pulled up that homes with professional photography get 61% more views than homes without professional photography. So having a real photographer come in there is going to just get you more views, right? And then 63% of the people who bought a home in 2020 made an offer just based off the pictures, right? So during the COVID times, everything was crazy where people just needed to see, they're just buying homes based off photography alone.
Right.
And then 60% of the time, people are looking at more when they're looking at a listing on a website. They're spending 60% of the time looking at the pictures, right? And only 20% actually read the description. It's like you just put all this work into have this beautiful description of the home. People are just wanting to see the beautiful pictures. That's
Right.
The picture sells the home. And so there's definitely this level of interest. You need to have a good photography. So I want to show some your website real quick here. We're going to pull this up, and then let's see, here we go. So what people, when they're looking at your website, what's really cool is you really start seeing the character of a home really quickly when you start looking at just a general listing photo. And this right here, to me, these kind of kitchen, living room or dining room kind of area, these are the ones that I feel like a real estate photographer captures in a way that you're not going to get with the iPhone. This kind of stuff pops out so spectacular. It just looks warm and bright and inviting, and it looks like what you want. You want to tell me about these pictures a little bit?
Yeah. So the kitchen tends to be kind of the central gathering point for homes. And think about how much money people spend when they're when they buy a house and they go in and they remodel and they put their own little personal spin on their kitchens, and it tends to be the gathering point, right? So
Right.
when I go in, I really look at the angles. How can I showcase, the true beauty of um, that kitchen? And uh, it's just,
Yeah.
looking at him, you can just tell that that home is cared for.
Yeah.
It's, a great gathering point. Um, all my photos, I shoot in HDR, so I'm blending anywhere from 3 to 5 photos um, into one, and so you're going to get those nice rich colors, the true color of the kitchen.
Yeah.
You're getting the you're doing window pulls, so you're seeing, instead of getting, if you take a picture with your phone, you're going to get, you might get a nice picture of the kitchen, but then your windows are going to be blown out. You're not going to be able to
Mhm.
see, what's going on. So like you can see in there, through the windows and the sliders, you see the greenery out there, and
Yeah.
so it's really showcasing
Those are the
the
touches that really come through and kind of just makes it feel real to me. Like this is what you're really going to feel and see as you walk in and kind of
right,
catch that. That's
makes it
great.
feel homey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that. And then the other side of what you do is, I think this is a huge aspect, is having these aerial footage, right, of the homes to be able to see them using drones. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
so like this one here, this was shot down in Rio Vista, and I wanted to showcase kind of the property and where it was in relation
mhm,
to the country club. So you can
yeah,
see there, they're a street over from the tennis courts, and
right.
you kind of get an idea of what's around the area. As you can see, that's not much around, but
Yeah,
those houses, and then the other ones, you can see that there's, you see the backyard, you see
mhm,
the solar panels, and kind of see your immediate neighbors.
yeah.
So it
This
kind
is
of
such
really
a
gives a
huge factor that has really become a popular part of having a real estate listing that, we weren't doing this 5, 10 years ago. There was not really people doing drone photography. Now it's like, I feel like it's almost a requirement necessary when you're doing that because people want to see these aerial shots of where is this house actually situated. Is you drive in a neighborhood, you can get a feel of it, but you may not be able to drive every house right away. So you can kind of say, oh, it is close to the country club. I can go over there and play my pickleball or whatever we got there.
right.
Uh, Another statistic says homes with aerial photography sells 68% faster, right? So that having that in there is just a sign that yes, it is going to help that sale actually happen a little quicker. People get that feel of the neighborhood so much better, right?
Right, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
you have to be a
Yeah,
licensed person to do. You can't just go out and buy a drone like to do it legally and properly. Is that right?
yeah. So you have to go through and take a FAA
Mm,
pilot's test, basically. um it's you can there's places out there where you can take the class, or you can kind of do a self study, buy a course online, which is what I did. But yeah, you actually go in, you take a FAA part 107 pilot license test,
very
and
cool.
you know carry around an actual pilot license card,
That's
just
very
like
cool.
your driver's license. And there's a lot of rules and regulations, and
Right.
and it's like 120 questions away from actually having your, like, fly an airplane, license.
Wow.
Um, so
That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just buy a drone and go fly around.
Yeah, it's one of those keys I think is the more people can see the home and being able to see, all the aspects, all the angles, all the sides of it, really being captured. I think it's pretty amazing. It's one of those things that I'm a big fan of. Just when you've got an agent working with a photographer, right? So, do you find yourself generally? Do you have home buyers reaching out to you, saying, "I'm about to list my house," or is it you work mostly directly with agents?
Mostly directly with agents. I will, obviously, I'll work with pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
I have had some private owners reach out to me. In
Mhm.
fact, that one in Rio Vista was a private owner.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, for the most part, it is, agents.
Nice. So one of the things you also had talked about that you do that I think is really neat is, a lot of agents out there, it's a tough market we're in right now. They're struggling to, find the listings. And once they get them, it's been a while since they've closed a deal. They don't have a lot of money to throw at it. Buyers, or sellers are usually not wanting to let go of a lot of money while they're in the process selling house as well. So you've offered an opportunity to kind of help alleviate some of that out-of-pocket expense that a home seller has. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, talking with different agents and kind of seeing what their needs are. Uh, One of the biggest things that I found in talking to these different agents is that initial cost, of photography. A basic package is going to start at about $200, which is just going to be, some interior photos, some
Right.
exterior photos, but um, there's no wow factor, right? I mean, you're gonna get great photos with that basic package, but when you start adding the drone photos or the 360 walkthrough tours, then you really add that wow factor, that
Right.
pizzazz. So basically, what this program I came up with is called Pay Pics Later. So basically, what it is you're gonna contact me, and you're going to pay a small amount up front, depending on the price of the package you choose. Um, and then I'm going to take the photos. You're going to get the photos, put them on MLS, put them on your website. Do what you need to do. And then once that home sells, that's when the balance is going to be paid. And basically, I'm going to turn the receipt into the title company. And so like I said, once the home sells and everything closes, then the title company will issue me, the balance of what is due. So you're not out that, two, three, four, $500, depending on the package
Yeah,
you.
I love this idea is, I like the name, right? Pay later picks, right? So the idea is like get your photography done, get it properly listed the right way. So you've got your best foot forward, right? You're really showing the house as it should be, shown properly, but you're not having to worry about telling the buyer or the sellers that, hey, we need you to come up with some extra money because I need to put these pictures in, or you're not coming out of pocket with it yourself, which a lot of agents do that. A lot of agents are going to pay that up front, and then recollect later. But to avoid that for an agent, maybe that's maybe been a little bit since they've closed the house, or just as a whole, just be able to not, keep a couple bucks in their pocket, and then have it just paid through the closing is such a great move. It really is smart to be able to put agents in a position, less checks they have to write, they're going to be happy about it. So
Right.
that's a great one for sure. Doug, what's the best way of someone getting a hold of you?
So the best way to get a hold of me is you can give me a call, text me 530-665-3105, or shoot me an email, doug.barrett@dbphotography916.com. Yeah, there you go, right there.
Right.
Um, my
DB
phone's always on.
Photography, dbphotography916.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
shoot me a text, shoot me an email. I have my phone with me all the time, so
yeah,
I'm very easy to get a hold of, and always looking to expand my, client base.
yeah. I think Doug's been someone I've seen your pictures around a ton of times before I actually got to meet you. It's you're definitely got your thumb on the pulse of what's going on out there, and you're seeing all this photography, what's needed. I think you're taking all the steps to give agents really that leg up wherever they can by giving them just a good presentation they can give their sellers. So yeah, I highly recommend if you get a chance, reach out to Doug. He is phenomenal. I mean, of course, we can always jump into the world. You do commercial stuff as well. You can do branding stuff if you got uh, opportunities there. I've seen you do events where there's been some big events. Your stuff you do is beyond as the real estate is a lot bigger than what we're talking about today. There's a lot more you can do. Is that right? Is that quickly?
Yeah, so like I said, I do a little bit of everything. Product photography, whether it be food photography. If you're a winemaker and you want to take photos of your wine bottles,
Yeah.
I do that. There's really nothing that I can't take a photo of.
If it
You know,
involves a camera, you've got it covered.
yeah, camera and lights, I got you.
That's perfect.
You know, I do senior portraits. I do family, you know, a little bit of everything.
That's
So,
perfect. So that's
um,
awesome. So if you guys have any needs for photography as a whole, of course, my specialty is real estate, so that's where I lean on first. But of course, if you have any need for some kind of local photography and the general Sacramento area, I'm assuming I know you've got some stuff that's been out in Napa. I'm sure you've been up to Tahoe and shot. I'm sure you've got a range. Always give him a call. Find out if he can, make it to your event or come out to your listing. If you have any questions, reach out to Doug. All his contact information will be in the listing down below. But yeah, appreciate you coming on here and chatting with me. It definitely is always good to talk to somebody and just kind of see some of the stuff you're doing. So thanks for that.
of course, I enjoyed doing this. This is definitely not in my wheelhouse, but it was painless.
Yeah, a lot of photographers like to be behind the camera, not in front of the
Exactly.
camera, right? Well, I appreciate you taking the time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next one. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.